My name is Leroy Biggs, and I'm currently on a fucking hot street. Can't talk. God damn it. The hot street's over. Well, would that be hot street? Street. What do you do? I'm a rapper. Words. On this episode of Fat Illiterate Kid Tries, we'll be going over grammatical errors. Fuck you, cocksuckers.
What if I told you this is actually one of the dopest and most authentic rappers in the game right now?
Bada boom, bada bing, drop a pop, let freedom ring. Straight out of Cheatham, Tennessee, more specific, Pine Creek. Feeling myself, I know I'm special. 1 year later, still getting better. Having fun and I've earned some cheddar. Press the gas and still haven't let up, let's go.
Turned down a deal and I made more profit. Call me Kenny Pickett if I'm coming out of pocket. Feel like pot smoke, but I'll turn around and pop it.
From a 6-mile stretch of road in Ashland City, Tennessee, comes a 300-pound man that has taken the Tennessee rap scene by storm. And no, I'm not talking about Jelly. I'm actually talking about this guy. This is the story of Leroy Biggs, too big to fail. The year 2000 was the turn of the millennium. Along with the Y2K craze, Stephen Polk was born, a boy who would go on to be known as Leroy Biggs. Born in a small town in Middle Tennessee, Ashland City is home for just over 5,000 people. Inside of Ashland City is a small stretch of road called Pond Creek Road. This is where Leroy Biggs grew up. Some may count the days until they move from their small hometown to the big city, but not Leroy.
So, I honestly believe, dude, I had one of the last great, American childhoods, generically speaking, you know what I mean? It was a tight-knit family thing. I knew everybody, bro. I could go door to door for a fucking 7-mile stretch, right? And tell you every goddamn family that was in there.
Nashville may be the country music capital of the world, but there's no shortage of talented rappers. Mainstream rappers such as the legendary group 3 6 Mafia, one of my personal favorites, Lil White, Young Buck, the late Young Dolph, among others, have such a unique sound to them. The independent rap scene is littered with talent as well, with names such as Ryan Upchurch, Haystack, old school rapping Jelly Roll, who in my opinion is one of the greatest rappers of all time, O.N.E., Chad Arms, and the list goes on and on. The Tennessee rap scene is a very close-knit group. Everyone in the rap scene seems to work together. If one gets put on, everyone eats.
I feel like Nashville runs independent music for this sole purpose. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's a Jelly Roll or Legs Top Dollar or Worm or, Struggle or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody in a way. Nashville's, it's a big and growing fucking city, but it still has the same small town politics, man.
We see this with artists like Jelly Roll, who is one of the biggest artists in the country, but still finds time to come back home and do podcasts, videos, and does features with the people who are there since day one. One of those people is Chad Arms. Chatty has been in the Tennessee rap scene for over 20 years. Remember the Jelly Roll 10-minute freestyle? Yeah, that was actually filmed by Chad.
Jelly Roll sitting clean to the eye stall. Plus I still get money, yes I ball. Every time I see you, bitch gives me an eyeball. And if my P.O. ask, I hang drywall.
As well as being a rapper himself, Chad is a YouTuber and has one hell of an ear for talent, doing interviews with some of the best artists around Tennessee and beyond. This is how I found Leroy Biggs.
Uncle Chatty with his nephew Leroy.
Quote, me and Leroy did a track for one of my albums in February of 2021. A few months later in May, I linked up with him and did a Chad Arms TV interview. Been like my nephew ever since, end quote, Chad told me. The interview Chad is referring to is Who is Leroy Biggs? Over this 5-part series, we got to see exactly why Chad Arms wanted to put the spotlight on Leroy. With his slick tongue and rapid-fire humor, you couldn't help but want to see more of Leroy Biggs. And that's exactly what we got. Leroy quickly became a favorite on Chad Arms TV. With the day in the life of Leroy Biggs on episode 25, he's become the most consistent guest on the channel. Leroy has surrounded himself with people who have established a name in the music business. With the proper guidance mixed with the immense talent, Leroy has been on the fast track to the top. But that's now. Leroy hasn't gotten to this point without busting his ass and traveling a rough road.
Hello, everybody. Leroy Biggs.
Leroy Biggs wouldn't be making music if it wasn't for two guys, Ryan Upchurch and T Stoner. Because everyone knew each other in the small town, Leroy was good friends with Upchurch even before he started his own music career. Leroy was known for rap battles at the local high school football games.
Bro, the first time I ever seen Leroy, well, he's always been friends with my brother Aaron.
Yeah.
He's always been like real good friends with him. So he was significantly younger than me, but I knew him down the street because he was the kid that wanted to rap battle everybody. I remember that Harper's game?
Oh, dude.
Dude, he was beside the concession stands rap battling people, bro. Didn't give a shit about the football game.
Leroy fell in love with rap music around the young age of 6 when he listened to the local legend Haystack's The Natural CD that belonged to his sister, which actually was recorded and put out by Street Flavor, which Leroy would not only end up signing with, but also become the president of the company, which we'll get to later.
My first rap experience, bro, and it's so fucking ironic because I'm the president of the label I'm going to talk about, was a Natural Haystack CD. Mm-hmm. Right? It was my sister. You know, I was still too young to appreciate it because at this time I'm like fucking 6.
Yeah.
There's not too many 5-6-year-olds bumping rap music. Like, I hear it thinking, wow, this motherfucker sounds like my uncle. This motherfucker sounds, this inbred some bitch sounds just like me.
Shortly after, he stumbled upon battle rapping and quickly became immersed in freestyling.
And then after that, I got into, I really liked New York rap. I stumbled upon, like, battle raps and shit.
Yeah.
Probably when I was 11.
Yeah.
So I started watching that. I fell in love with that, bro. I fell in love with the sportsmanship of it. I fell in love with the fact that over half of that shit, right? Like, yeah, these motherfuckers do their dirt and research shit and write raps about it, but these motherfuckers are dissing these people in real time. Like, what they're wearing and what they're, and like, that was, like, that's what made me want to fucking, like, I started trying to freestyle because it blew my fucking mind.
At only 11 years old, a young Leroy Biggs taught himself how to freestyle rap off the top. I mean, how fucking impressive is that?
So, I saw a Haystack CD when I was 6 years old, bumped it. By the time I was 11, I was trying to fucking learn how to freestyle, and I ultimately taught myself how to fucking freestyle.
After discovering rap and rap battles, Leroy would continue listening to rap throughout his childhood and early teenage years. It wasn't until Leroy was in the 8th grade when he found the other love of his life, and that was weed. Weed and rap go hand in hand, and it's been that way ever since the music genre was discovered. With Leroy, it was the exact same. He and his friends would roll up a blunt, get baked, listening to 8 Ball and MJG, Lupe Fiasco, and freestyle. I actually, first time I smoked pot, I was probably in fucking the end of 5th grade.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't start daily smoking pot, but sometime around 8th grade years when I started smoking pot. And the shit went hand in hand. We'd all get around fucking stoned, bumping rap music. At this time, rap music was still just as new to us as fucking pot was.
Yeah.
Because, like, this probably about 2009, 2010, like, we're bumping this shit, but we're also discovering, like, shit from the 90s.
Yeah.
Mr. Big, fucking 8 Ball and MJG, fucking Lupe Fiasco, goddamn, like...
Yeah.
Lupe Fiasco.
Again, being from a small town, the local high school football games were always crowded. During one of the games, Leroy spotted another high school kid that was known for battle rapping. With all the practice Leroy had been doing, he thought it was time to actually battle someone that wasn't just one of his friends.
There was a kid named Dalton Rader. He was a senior. I was in 9th grade, and it was a high school football game. The whole county goes to high school football games, bro. Like, that's just the small town shit. Like, Atlanta has nightclubs. We have Harpeth High School football.
Yep.
We get there and Dalton Rader's there, and my buddy Austin Greer, he was a fucking creeker. He was trying to rap too, and Greer was actually one of the best ones out of all of them, because this country motherfucker was spitting some country shit, like talking about skull cans. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Well, he was freestyling some shit. I went over there with no beat, no nothing, and just started rapping about what he was wearing. and we busted out laughing because I stomped a mud hole in his ass. It wasn't like we were rap battling, but like it was like
it's kind of roasting each other.
Yeah.
People quickly lost interest in the football game when they heard what was going down out front. More and more people crowded around Leroy, rooting him on during the battle.
People start gathering around us, man. Like between Greer and Raiders, Fred's, and my buddies that were around me, there was maybe 7 people around when we started.
Yeah.
By the time I had rapped my first time, there was probably 20 people. And so I started going, the second time I rapped, like, ooh, ah, yell. Well, fucking people going. And at this point, bro, 20 people were there when I first started rapping. The second time I rap and go, and like, these aren't rounds or nothing, so I've spent like a 2-minute freestyle on why this dude's fucking stupid.
Right.
When I got done, I had people tell me there was fucking 300 people around us. There was fucking, like, it was a legit show. It was bigger than a lot of small bar shows today.
One of those people in attendance was Ryan Upchurch.
And I even showed up and seen it myself, you know, because I was meeting some people there that were out of high school. We were going to support for hometown sake, you know. Yeah. And I'm going to concession stands and I see him over there with a big fucking circle of people, and I was like, what are they doing over there? And I walked over here, and sure enough, his ass was rap battling. And I ain't gonna say the line because of what the line was, but I heard up, and I'll never forget that one in particular line you said. And I was like, what the fuck did he just say?
Leroy would always be looking to expand and push himself. Shortly after that battle, Leroy wanted to try and freestyle to beats. All the battles and freestyle he had done up until that point were all a cappella, meaning there was no beat. Although at that time, making an actual song or becoming a rapper wasn't even in his head, he figured the next step was to learn how to freestyle to a beat.
Now it was, well, let's try and freestyle to beats.
Yeah.
Because that whole rap battle, it wasn't no beats or nothing. Yeah, dude, I just opened a can of whoop-ass. I really fell more in love with rap. I didn't start fucking chasing anything. I didn't have the rapper aspiration yet. It was like a party trick, man. Like, holy shit.
Watch what Steven can do.
Yeah. That's all it was.
It wasn't until much later when a friend of his who had a studio allowed him to record his first track.
Motherfucker started telling me, bro, you gotta go to a studio. You gotta go do something. And, so I started thinking about it more and more, and then one day, Fizz was the first studio I ever walked. I'm going in there, I think I'm freestyling over the Meek Mill I'm a Boss beat.
Leroy laid down his vocals, but there was one problem. He was rapping like he was in a battle. Great punchlines, but not much actual substance.
You know, it wasn't there yet, but like I said, I was freestyling, bro, so like,
right.
It was just a bunch of punchlines, same fucking, you know, using the same sayings and shit, but just like...
But Leroy wasn't discouraged. He found another reason to fall deeper in love with music, and that was the MP3 file of his session.
It was so cool to me to have a fucking MP3 file I could plug into an aux cord and play in the car, and I could hear me fucking rap.
Yeah, man.
Dude, that was so fucking... That was the top. Yeah. I didn't want to do anything else. That was... Fuck you, dude. That's me, motherfucker.
Around that time, Ryan Upchurch's career was really starting to take off. And Leroy knew Ryan through his brother Aaron.
At this time, fucking Ryan's getting fucking bigger and bigger and bigger, and he's jumped into music and he's going. And I'm hanging out with, truth be told, me and Aaron Upchurch was selling fucking pot. Like, fucking hanging out, you know.
While hanging out with Aaron Upchurch, Leroy would occasionally see Ryan at their house. Ryan knew Leroy was sick with the freestyles, so on one random day, he invited him to tag along and go to T Stoner's studio. That would be the beginning of a whole new chapter in Leroy's life. But before we get into that, I want to thank W Energy for sponsoring this documentary. Power up with W Energy, the ultimate energy drink mix that keeps you charged and focused. Get yours at w.gg using promo code Nicholas Bowling or use the link down below. Now let's get back into it.
And one day, Ryan came out back and we smoked weed. He's like, hey, motherfucker, what you doing tomorrow? I said, this, man. Because we was on break for something. I was, believe it or not, I was in my first year of college.
Okay.
My first semester of college. I was going to Nashville State fucking selling felonious amounts of pot. The teachers, fucking everybody in Nashville State's on dope. And so I was on a break, like Christmas break or something. Like, we literally had nothing to do. We were fucking wasting the days. Like, so I go with him over to Stoner's. He has a recording session, and it's me, him, and Stoner. And we're laughing. I'm meeting Stoner. I know who Stoner is.
After linking up with T. Stoner and Ryan Upchurch vouching for him, Leroy was ready to begin working on his first album. Now, with the guidance of a longtime engineer and producer, T. Stoner would help Leroy with his writing, delivery, hooks, and just about everything else that goes into making a rap song.
Even the raps, though, were like more of like battle raps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They weren't really like song raps.
Right,
If that
right.
makes any sense.
Not really structured. It was just bars, basically.
Yeah, just bars, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. And we just kind of like, you know, start from scratch. Be like, okay, this is where you got to break things up. This is where you got to think of a hook, write a hook. And at first, I think the first couple of hooks were kind of rappy. And then he started, you know, experimenting with doing some melodic things and making it more of a song, you know.
Most new rappers sound pretty bad their first go at it. And honestly, they don't start catching their rhythm until their second album at the earliest. But Biggs is just built different. Listen to the story from Stoner about Leroy literally improving right in front of his eyes while in the booth. It's insane.
I remember too, there was a good batch of songs where, like, let's say we recorded the song, we moved on to another one, and moved on to another one, and then he was getting better each time.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're like, hey, can I please redo the first one? So we actually ended up like recording these songs probably like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Because by the time he would be getting better and get more comfortable, you know, because that's really all it takes is like just getting comfortable.
Right.
Leroy doesn't take Stoner's help for granted. He contributes his success to him, saying if it wasn't for Stoner, his story would be completely different.
The reason I was developing so quick is because Stoner was like literally having to teach me shit and then like give me the definition of shit. Well, bro, what makes that sound better is a dub. We'll go through. Well, what's a dub? Well, a dub is. All right, hey man, now we're gonna do the in and outs. What the fuck is that?
Yep.
Well, it's like the rhyming words, you know, and like quite literally had to build fucking no knowledge out of scratch. And I mean, it just I feel like if I had started anywhere else, the story may have been different.
Leroy's first album number 1, was produced and engineered by T. Stoner. Although Leroy had barely even recorded a song, let alone make a whole album, with the guidance from T. Stoner and Ryan Upchurch, the album went on to chart.
I want the listeners to understand that you dropped your first album not even really knowing how to structure a song.
All right.
And it charts.
Oh, yeah.
And you still, and so like, even with not knowing what you're doing, it's working.
After the success he saw with his first album, some money started rolling in. It was then that Leroy started thinking this could actually be a career.
I'm to the moon, man. Like, fucking, I didn't think about the money side of shit, ever.
Yeah.
So, when I had that, you know, money come in and shit like that, like, alright, I want to pay to work. I want to work.
As most rappers do, Leroy wanted to expand his sound and work with some other producers, and the money that came from album 1 helped to make that possible. And that's when he met Dub 3030. Dub 3030 is a name that is heard everywhere in Nashville. Personally, Dub is in my top 10 current hip-hop producers. He produced and engineered my last track, OCD Positive, and working with him was amazing. He helped elevate my sound and music overall, and Dub did the same thing with Leroy. Every independent artist in Nashville has worked, wants to work, or will work with Dub 3030 at some point in their career. Leroy randomly heard Dub's producer tag on a song and followed him on Instagram and sent him a DM.
It was just one day, I can't remember what I was listening to, but I heard the tag, 3030 tag on whatever fucking song it was, and I just followed him one day on Instagram and sent him a DM, hey man, I'd love to fucking work, and fuck dude, like, Dub got back to me and I'd say within the next fucking 2 or 3 hours, and we had a session within the week.
Again, I just want to give Dub his flowers. Working with him was absolutely amazing. Now, this isn't a Dub 3030 sponsored ad or anything. I just appreciate how professional he was and what a pleasure it was to work with him in a field full of producers who aren't always on the up and up, let's just say. Anyway, check the link down below for Dub's official website. After linking up with Dub, Leroy's music started to become more and more consistent in quality. It's easy to forget how young Leroy was through all this, and still is. He grew, musically speaking, by 10 years in a matter of a year and a half or so.
It's funny, whenever we first linked up, I thought he was so much older than what he is. When he told me his real age, I was like, damn, like that's crazy. Like,
yeah.
That he's smart.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
He's witty. He's fucking talented. It's just wild that he's got like a lot of years under his belt, you know, to be that young. I was like impressed by it. I was like, damn, bro, you got a lot to still do. It's crazy. Like,
for sure.
Just getting started, really.
Leroy's second album Dose, which also went on the chart, dropped on October 23rd, 2020. The album had 10 tracks, all produced by Dub 3030, and was packed with features from artists like Adam Calhoun, Jelly Roll, Struggle Jennings, Ryan Upchurch, among others. Hell, even Smash Mouth did a feature. After album Dose, I think Leroy finally saw that he had something special and that this was his calling. With the money coming in from the streams and features, Leroy stopped going to college. Leroy was hesitant to tell his parents, more specifically his father, that he wants to be a rapper and this would be his new career. For over a year, Leroy would tell his dad that he was still going to college, when really he had dropped out and was quickly becoming one of the most anticipated rappers in the area.
I lied to my dad, bro, so like, I fucking left school, bro. I almost got in trouble. The weed shit was catching up to me. Like, I never drove to fucking school. They were finding out I was putting fucking weed in the drop ceiling in the bathroom and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to be there, bro. I didn't want to be there. I never missed a fucking day. So I lied for like a year, dude. Yeah, I'm going to college. Yeah, I'm going to college. Whole time fucking hustling at home, fucking trying to rap, get an album out. But I got comfortable enough to tell my dad I wasn't doing music, and I had some money or something. Money wasn't fucking new to me, but it was like it came through my bank account. You know, it was legal fucking money. I was proud of it, man, and by the grace of God, he didn't fucking slip my throat. They went along with it. He told me, he's like, dude, you got to do something. If you gonna do it, really do it.
Anybody who's anybody in the rap game in Tennessee knows the name Sonny Paradise. Sonny founded Street Flavor Records in 1991 while still in high school. Street Flavor has helped a number of rappers in the Tennessee area such as Haystack, Jelly Roll, Albino Gorillas, and more. Leroy randomly met Sonny at a mutual friend's house and they quickly hit it off. Sonny, having a legendary ear for talent, saw that Leroy had something.
Somehow or another, me and Sonny got into contact, and then we actually met at fucking D-Ray's.
Right.
So that sparked even more content. They knew, like, hey, this, you know, I'm doing everything on my own.
Right.
I'm down to collab, because it was just cordial at first.
After Sonny saw how talented and serious Leroy was after paying him for a feature, he knew he wanted to bring him into the Street Flavor label. And with Leroy knowing how legendary Sonny is, it quickly changed from a one-time check for a feature to building a relationship.
They paid me for a feature. We were still being cordial. After that, we wanted to do something else, and it was like, I don't need to make money off these guys. I like these guys.
Sonny was another name in the long list of established names in the music industry that Leroy surrounded himself with and soaked up knowledge from.
I had a couple record deal opportunities present themselves, and I had nobody in my corner. I called Sonny. Sonny represented me. Sonny watched my fucking ass. From the first day I asked Sonny to watch my ass, he watched my fucking ass like he was getting paid for it.
Everything seemed to be going perfectly for Leroy, almost too good to be true. That wasn't until his fast lifestyle caught up with him. You see, Leroy had a struggle that no one knew about.
I overdosed and flatlined. I overdosed speedballing.
Leroy was struggling with substance abuse that continued to get worse.
That day we recorded or whatever, like, I just left. I don't remember the day at all or what. I cut a verse and fucking left. Like,
Dude, yeah, you were there, but you weren't there. Like when I talked to you.
There's one night, man, and I'm still trying to figure it out, dude. I woke up in Chattanooga in a hotel.
You don't remember how you got there,
Don't remember how the fuck I got there. Don't remember anything. My truck was 2 miles away in a Walmart parking lot.
No one had any idea that Leroy was deep in the hole of addiction, even his close friends who saw him every day. Leroy's drug of choice was cocaine.
Well, I will say this. I did cocaine the fucking longest, but if I had just done cocaine, like I did years prior, I'd have never fucking overdosed. But I'd say cocaine was the one I was constant to. For me, what got bad was the come downs.
When Leroy really started to lose control was when he started mixing the cocaine with the downer, such as Xanax, which is referred to as a speedball. Leroy's father would tragically pass away on February 20th, 2023. Only a few months later, Leroy would flatline due to an overdose of cocaine and Xanax.
In the middle of February, I went back down to Florida to finish the album. My dad passed away February 20th, and like I just had like, you know, like fuck this shit mentality. Not like about fucking being in Florida or street flavor. Like I love them guys, but it just like I don't have too much family.
On May 24, 2023, Leroy Biggs would overdose and flatline. He would remain in a coma for 6 days. Almost immediately after waking up from the coma, Leroy went live on his Instagram. A broken down, emotional, and still groggy Leroy would come clean about his addiction struggles.
That following night, my mom found me, brought me to the hospital, revived me, came back.
Throughout the Instagram Live, Leroy was clearly very emotional after all the tribulations he had gone through. But Leroy couldn't help but smile when his old friend and idol, Jelly Roll, joined the stream.
I gotta add my buddy real quick. I only talk to God when I'm in favor.
Man, I love you, little dude. When can I come see you? Are you able to get visitors yet?
Leroy knew it was time for a change. He left the hospital with a sponsor, a game plan, and attended local CA meetings.
I came out of the fucking mental hospital with the fucking sponsor and like goals and set and fucking, you know, I have a schedule of every CA meeting in Middle Tennessee. Like whether it's fucking midnight or fucking 6 in the morning or fucking 1 p.m. on a Monday, like, you know, and for me it was just like willpower, dude. Like I just got over some of the like the lasting effects of the shit. Like, up until 2 weeks ago, dude, my fucking skin felt like it was on fire.
With the help of his close friends and family, Leroy has remained sober, besides good old Mary Jane, of course.
Now, I don't do drugs, though. Just weed.
I'm not going to blatantly talk about being sober much anymore, just because I feel like it's happened. Like, it's done now. Like, it's not like something I'm working towards, I have it. And it's, you know, now it's time to just run with it, right? Well, like, I kind of feel like a fucking kid again, dude. Like, I feel like how I did at the beginning. Like, it's, you know, like, almost like an innocence sort of, you know, type shit. If you told me 8 months ago where I'd be at today, right? I would have bet everything against it. Yeah. And, you know, God works in mysterious ways, man. I'm not pushing, you know, I'm not pushing religion onto anybody that fucking doesn't want it. All I'm doing is giving my credit where it's due. My credit goes to a higher power.
If Leroy can continue to surround himself with talented, experienced individuals in the music industry, his arrow will continue to point up. And now with his sobriety, I think the consistency and quality of work will continue to rise. For more hip-hop documentaries, be sure to subscribe hit the notification bell, and drop a like. Peace.